In this episode of CARPe Diem.
On this episode of CARPe Diem, we're at the Vancouver Christmas Market, and we're going to be talking with Salima Jiwan of the BC Lake Leador and with Ian Tossensen of the BC Restaurant Association. What's on the table? Our social calendars for 2022.
CARPe Diem, seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
On this special episode of CARPe Diem, we're at the Vancouver Christmas Market because we can be with our friends and family again this holiday season. Now, with new variants and an uncertain future, what does our social calendar look like in 2022? Well, joining me are Salima Jiwan from the Lake Leador, Canada, and Ian Tossensen from the BC Restaurant Association. Now, before we get into that conversation, Dean Atwell has a great story to put us in the Christmas mood.
So this is his sweater that I'm wearing, then he got a new one.
I got a new one, which kind of lights up, right?
Yeah, it's lighting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, party on my t-shirt, right?
Navigating a new country and its culture can be challenging. What better way to experience the spirit of Canada than the season of Christmas?
We're gonna make
Cookies. Vegan cookies. For Christmas.
Yeah.
Was there like Christmas color?
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
I don't know what it is.
Yay, huh?
Yep. The moment you add sugar.
So tell me about your journey to Canada in brief if you can.
So my journey has just started this year. I came here in February. It was COVID time, but I was really happy to see him after such a long time because of us being in a long distance relationship. We didn't stay together ever.
Yeah.
And Canada has been really nice to me, to be honest. People are very friendly. They're very helping.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love...
How many new immigrants would you say are coming to specifically to British Columbia, to Surrey, this city?
Well, Surrey traditionally gets the most immigrants coming into BC, so about give and take 13,000 plus show up into Surrey every year.
What's great about the culture of Christmas when it comes to new immigrants? Why should a new immigrant learn about this season, the holiday season?
Because everybody connects. It's a universal holiday. Even when I was growing up back in India, I knew about Christmas. So any newcomer who comes to Canada learns about Christmas quickly because at least a month of holiday season, of shopping and of giving, something that everybody can connect with.
Now relocated in Surrey, the Eljmar family fled the Middle East in mid-2021. On the tree? So tell me, why come to Canada?
For them, the future for the kids, of course. Yeah.
Wow. Well, back in Qatar, we didn't celebrate Christmas a lot. We celebrated another Eid. It's called Eid. So it's like Christmas, but it comes after Ramadan, after we fast. For us as like Muslims.
No, it's an Islamic holiday.
Yes, exactly.
Ah, okay. So this will be your first Christmas in Canada.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
And you're very excited about it. It seems like you're very excited
I'm
about
very
it.
happy as well.
I see you have a Christmas tree. Who put the Christmas tree up there?
Everybody?
There's a great tradition putting up the Christmas tree.
Yes, it's very nice. Say Christmas.
And that is exactly what the season is all about, celebrating each other regardless of religion or culture. When we come back, we'll talk with Ian and Salima about navigating the new normal, booking trips, making dinner reservations, and going out.
Of a working force of 190,000 people, we're short about 40,000 people.
CARPe diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back to the Vancouver Christmas Market. We're back with Salima and Ian, and I want to ask you one question. How did your industry fare in 2021?
So it's been a tough year. Some of us have gone back to work. There's been about 85 members back at work in their hotels. Some of them not exactly at their desk, but they're at the front desk or doing other jobs. They're helping with bags, they're at the front door, whatever it takes to sort of be back at the hotel. There's still 45 of us who are still not at work. A lot of them are doing other things. They're in different industries. They're doing completely something different, but everybody wants to get back, everyone.
And Ian, that's pretty similar to your industry, according to what we learn, is that people are not coming back to the service industry in the restaurants.
Well, you know, there was a time when there was these, when we weren't open, and times that we were restricted with hours, and people had the benefit to take a look around and go, you know what, I can take some courses, maybe change professions. So the issue that we have right now is that of a working force of 190,000 people, we're short about 40,000 people. And mainly the emphasis of that would be in kitchens, but you know, people decided that they could do other things. And you know, and the good and bad of that was the federal government had a program called CERB, which allowed people to make sure they got paid, which was awesome. But while they got paid, they went, you know what, maybe I should go do something else, go into technology, maybe on the supply side. So it's going to take us a while to get them back. It's going to be a big challenge.
And now, of course, Salima, you're an international group.
Yes.
So is that the same problem all around the world in your profession?
Yes, and I think, you know, one thing about us, we're very passionate about what we do. A lot of our members are 25, 30 years, that kind of thing. So for them to see themselves in a different type of job, it's been very difficult. Some of them have just stayed at home. We're lucky in Canada, we've had these, you know, CERB, that kind of thing, so we were able to stay at home.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the things that was part of the problem of getting staff back was the wages, right? Everybody's complaining that the wages weren't good enough and you couldn't live on that wage. What's the update on all that?
Wages have gone through the roof. It's a supply-demand thing, and I think, you know, sort of what Slim is saying is that we need to create careers in hospitality, so not part-time jobs, but probably careers. But we're seeing right now, because of supply and demand, that what was, you know, well, let's face it, I mean, front of the house people make pretty good money because they make tips. It's the back of the house, but those wages have gone up quite substantially since everybody's come back because there's fewer people working.
So another question, and this is coming from me, and I know some of my viewers will want to know. I found it interesting, Ian, that you were saying that the staff themselves are very cautious and careful about the vaccination status, even though it's not legally mandated. Right. So tell us about the vaccine status in your industries right now.
Well, it's from a legal point of view, it's difficult for the government to mandate a whole bunch of restaurants to say you must. And then I think the other issue too is that if you by not mandating it and leaving it to the employer, one employer might and one employer may not, and then people start to migrate. So nature took care of it. So what happened is that by nature of the people in our industry, they want to be vaccinated because they want to do things. They want to eat in the restaurant, yes, stay in the hotel, go to a show. So that took care of that. And or people leave because they don't want to be in that environment. I mean, why would you want to be unvaccinated in a very public place?
Yeah, it's a bit of a stigma not to be vaccinated.
Yes, I think. And we need to get to know, we know who is not vaccinated and who is.
We know.
We know.
Yeah, we do know. And you know, and this is for the safety of the world. Yeah. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Salima and Ian.
Find out what's going on in the city ahead of time. Book your restaurants ahead of time. Book your attractions ahead of time.
Carpe diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back to the Vancouver Christmas Market. We are here with Salima and with Ian, and we're talking Hospitality 2022. Now, question for you is, who's actually walking in your doors now? I mean, the borders have been pretty well shut for a long time. They're starting to open. Who are you servicing at your hotels?
So we're seeing a lot of people from Ontario, a lot of them have never even been here. So that's really interesting. Ontario, a lot of the suburbs in Ontario, Montreal, Quebec. We're seeing a majority are from BC right here. They're doing a staycation. A lot of people from Victoria, from Penticton, that kind of thing. So we are seeing a lot of Canadians and a lot of locals.
Say, well, the social calendars were absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
2020, that's been 2 years. And, you know, in your industries, we're very hard hit, especially, you know, the BC restaurants. We all know about that. So what's the plan now? What are the points do you want to get across to Canadians watching you right now? I mean, we're not quite over it. There's new variants, there's still concerns, but we're all wanting to sort of somewhat put it behind us.
Well, this is great. I'm so happy you're asking me this because we have a fantastic website, lakeladorcanada.org. We have all our members listed there with their hotel. So what you could do as a person who's watching your show, go to a hotel, go on the website, go to a hotel that has a Lake Lador concierge, contact that concierge ahead of time. So book your hotel, contact them, find out what's going on in the city ahead of time. Book your restaurants ahead of time. Book your attractions ahead of time. We have all that information at the tip of our fingers. We can send that out to guests. And so that's what guests are not doing oftentimes. They're coming to the hotel saying, I have 20 people that want to go out to eat. What do I do now? Yeah. Well, it becomes very stressful for us because now we have to find a location, and it's not always the one that they want. It's going to be somewhere that can accommodate 16 people. And as you know, it's tough right now to have 16 people in a restaurant. It's not that easy.
Leave the planning to somebody else and take the stress away and just go to enjoy yourself. That's so important. And I'm so impressed with what you do. I know.
That's what we do.
So I'm learning something here. I think the message that we would say is, you know, come to Vancouver. It's awesome. There's so much to do. Come to British Columbia. It's a great experience. But more importantly is that understand that vaccinations and masks have made the difference. The reason that we're going to see Cirque du Soleil in Vancouver in the springtime is because of the protocols that we have in place. Those are serious protocols. It's our responsibility. So people can say what they want to say. It's working. It's getting our economy back to work, people back to work. So I'd say come here, wear your mask, make sure you're vaccinated, and enjoy yourself.
And number one rule is safety first.
Yes.
It's not over yet. Safety first. It's not over yet. When we come back, we're taking a cooking lesson with Chef Robert Clark. How about fish for Christmas?
So this is a whole sable fish. It's produced in British Columbia. It's tasty, it's easy, it's straightforward. Don't be intimidated.
Carpe diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back. We're at the Vancouver Christmas Market, so I thought we should take a short tour. Denise, thank you so much for taking time out from being the president of the Vancouver Christmas Market to tour me around. I feel very privileged.
Thank you, yeah. I mean, we're super excited to be back. You know, it really feels like Christmas again. So many Vancouverites have just been waiting for the market to come back, so super excited about that.
And what are some of the attractions? I mean, I'm smelling something incredible.
Yes, I mean, we're just in the food area actually, in the market, the marketplatz. So we have the pretzels right behind you. We've got the glühwein, the mulled wine. We've got coffee, hot chocolate. There's so many things to smell around here right now. There's over 30 food options at the market and beverage options, so that's probably a mix of what you're smelling. The tradition of the Christmas market is something that I really want to touch upon because
It's a German import, and I think it's probably around the world, isn't it?
It is by now, yes. So the origin of Christmas markets goes back hundreds of years in Germany. It basically started when people came to town to go to church, and just the artisans and the craftsmen in town just decided, hey, this is a good opportunity for us to, you know, showcase our products. So that's how Christmas markets started originally, and now they're all over the world. There's hundreds of Christmas markets in Europe and Germany, but also in Chicago and other areas in America now.
Well, can you take me shopping?
Absolutely.
Do you want to go shopping? Let's go shopping a little bit. I mean, we're here. Like, how cute. And these are glorious.
This is Glühwein. So it's a traditional German hot spiced wine with lots of different spices like orange and cinnamon. It's really Christmas in a cup, and it warms you up from the inside.
Well, here you go. Cheers. Salud, thank you. Let's see. Oh, it really is wine.
It is.
It is right. Well, thank you so much, Denise.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. That was so much fun. It's so great to be at an event again. Now, before we go, Chef Robert Clark has a suggestion for one of our holiday meals.
Here we are, 'tis the season. It's Christmas time, my favorite time of the year, because it gives me an opportunity to develop some recipes that will encourage people or show people how we can utilize BC's beautiful bounty of seafood. But let's get started with some canapes. We're gonna start with albacore tuna. Always a little bit of pepper, significant amount of salt. Now, it's just coating the outside, so it's not gonna be very salty. Okay, and then we just put it in a pan. All I'm doing is trying to firm up the outside of the tuna, because albacore tuna is very, very buttery. All right, here we have some crackers. Now, I'm gonna use a little bit of Japanese mayo for no other reason than the fact it comes in a handy squirt tube, which makes this very easy. Now, I'm only applying the mayonnaise to 1/2 of the cracker. I prefer to use these because I put the garnish here and then you can pick it up here, which makes it very easy for your guests. Okay, so you see how quickly that's done. Now, this can be done a couple hours ahead and put in the fridge. I'm doing it fresh, but it doesn't really change the effect. Now, I prefer tuna cooked like so that it's raw like this. Very rare, but feel free, you can cook it a bit more if you're intimidated. Believe me, this is the best way to enjoy it. I've made a little bit of eggplant puree here. Sliced cherry tomato, a little bit of parsley. Okay, then a little bit of balsamic. And you can drizzle this on if you got guests or whatever. I'm using a very expensive real balsamic vinegar, so I'm trying to make sure none goes on the plate. And there you have it. A couple of those. It's so easy. Okay, now we get to the piece de la resistance, BC sablefish. So this is a whole sablefish. It's produced in British Columbia and it's fresh. Now, if you can't find sablefish like this in the marketplace, I more often than not actually use frozen sablefish, which is also a very great product. What I have here, this is kind of a Christmas theme, so I have the right turnip, sweet potatoes, yams, carrots, the typical things you see on a Christmas table, and some spinach. I always like to have green vegetables. You could have Brussels sprouts in there if you wanted. But brining these, I've patted them dry, and I'm just gonna lay them on top of this. So these veg, again, it's great for when you're entertaining or when you want dinner to be quite simple. I roasted these vegetables earlier in the day. You could even do it the day before, and it makes it so easy. This is the thing. There's always sacrifices. So it's gingerbread. I would recommend making your own gingerbread cookie. Unfortunately, I'm no good at that, so I went and bought one. We don't need any of that stuff. We just want the cookie. Now, if you're avoiding or want to avoid the wheat or the sugar that's in this cookie, though sugar goes very well with sablefish, you can just use gingerbread spice on the fish. This is better. So all I have to do is actually put on our ginger cookie. So I've got that at 400 degrees. Maybe let's move it up to 425. And that'll be for about 12 minutes. Okay, let's make a quick sauce. It's going to be, I'm calling it like a carrot fondue. So we got some shallots, we got some carrot juice, equal parts of carrot juice, and today I'm using chicken stock, but it could be fish stock, it could be white wine, it could be whatever you want. I'm just going to add a little bit of orange zest. I tend to always put some sort of citrus on my seafood, and all we're going to do is let this boil down until it's a very thick consistency. It's Christmas, so don't be afraid. That'll come up to a boil and it'll be thickened by the time our sable fish is ready. Oh my God. Where is the eggnog? The sauce is thickened up a bit. This one we'll do with this, and one we'll keep dry. Oranges, like my grandmother used to say, you know, Christmas, they knew it was Christmas because they got an orange in their stocking, the only thing they got in their stocking. There, so easy, so straightforward, and there we have it. Christmas. It's tasty, it's easy, it's straightforward. Don't be intimidated. Anybody can do this, especially with sable fish. It's such a forgiving fish. Ask for it at your fishmonger. Buy BC, local, sustainable, ocean-wise sable fish. Christmas, the new tradition. Thanks to the gingerbread man.
I love the gingerbread crumbs on that dish. The kitchen smelled like Christmas. And we'll be hearing more from Chef Clark next year, so stay tuned. And thank you, Salima and Ian and Denise, for being with us today. And that's the show. And remember, as our CARPe president Moses Neimer always says, the best way to keep going is to keep going. So carpe diem and seize your day.